Hello and welcome to I Am Organic Gardening. My name is Mark. I'm located in Zone 6B in the Level State, New Jersey. And today I'm going to go over what happens if you didn't plant a cover crop last fall and you wish to plant a cover crop now. I'm going to give you a very helpful tip so you can establish a cover crop ahead of time by planting up your main garden like your tomatoes and other nightshade vegetables. So here's a cover crop that I planted up last fall in this raised bed with wood chip walkways on both sides. Now this has been established again since last fall, so it has done its job trying to create open structure in your soil to make aggregates and also build up the soil biology over the winter when it's above freezing. Now what happens if we didn't plant this and we want to establish something that's just in some bare soil? Just like we have here with our bare soil, we have a couple things growing here that are beneficial to the soil, and it's purple dead nettle and henbit. I did another video on it and I'll leave a link below. They're actually herbs and they do very fine helping the soil, but I want to get more of a root structure in there prior to planting up some tomatoes this year. So in the background we have our grafted apple tree, and that is also a nice permanent root in the ground, but it's just been planted maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and that's not establishing too much mycorrhizal fungi in the soil. So what I want to do is increase that mycorrhizal fungi in the soil, so when I plant my tomato plants out, they have a habitat that they can go into, just like in nature has always done it that way, that can give them a good, strong root base, thus giving us good, healthy food. So my solution is this. I purchased this bag of sugar snap peas. Now the best thing about this, it can be a cover crop, and also we can get our vegetables from it because it only takes about 51 days after they emerge from the ground that we have a product that we can eat. So now here in this bag that I bought, it's 1 pound. I believe there's over 2,000 seeds in a pound. So that's a great establishment area for your garden. It goes quite a long ways, and it cost me around $10, give or take. Plus it's also part of the legume family that's going to grow nodules on the root zone, and that's also going to provide a little extra nitrogen to our plants later in the future. So let's say this area right here, we're going to plant our tomato plant in, this circle. So what we want to do, you can save seeds also too, is take a plastic pot and put it over the top of this, or mark your area that's a circle that you're going to be transplanting your tomato plants in, and just go around the outside now and take your seeds like so and just make a circle. Let's do a lucky 7. Just put 7 seeds around the edge of it like so, and then they'll grow up and give you something to eat in the springtime. But also too, now those roots are creating a nice circle here, so when you take out this plug to put your tomato transplant in there, that you'll have all these other roots that you might be cutting into a little bit, but those will actually help that tomato plant ahead of time to establish itself deeper into the ground and give that mycorrhizal fungi effect. Thus the tomato plant can give it exudates to the soil and feed everything here. Now the variety I'm using is called Sugar Ann, and what's nice about that with these seeds, these only grow about 2 feet tall. So look around and see what kind of sugar snap peas are available out there and how tall they grow. And if you don't put a trellis down, all these will just fall over and lay on the ground. And I've done it for years. Trellising is nice, so they're easy to pick. But if you just lay them down, you can pick them just as easily, and you will find them. So there's no recourse in not having a trellis. So the rule of thumb is planting sugar snap peas is that whenever the ground is workable, you can plant them. So you might be asking, why don't I plant some New Zealand white clover down or some more winter rye and get that established? I could, but again at this point I just rather have some type of vegetable that I can plant and get more benefits out of having 2 things working for me, meaning food and also growing the soil. So in this photograph I'm showing now is the reason why you plant up your sugar snap peas ahead of time, so you can establish and grow soil prior to planting something other types of vegetables later on. Here we just have a small section of a root on your left hand side, And I'm going to say this section of a root is probably 1/100th of an inch. Now, what you see here, these tiny little lines that come out, this is mycorrhizal fungi, and it comes out of one little cell out of the root. And what I want to show you in this picture that's very important, if you see this one type of fungi that comes out, which is working with the plant, it's infecting the cell, and it's doing a great job. You see all these little spores, or let's call them eggs. Now this little spore here, if another root comes by down close to it, it will infect that root, and it will do a very good job. Now, it's not doing anything wrong. What it's doing with all these little spores on the outside and more fungi growing, it's increasing your root structure of your plant. But better off, and which is amazing now, is that we have these spores here trying to also infect more parts of the root. Now we have individual cells of the root that I'm showing here, and also too, you can see inside the root or inside each cell that has invaded or gone inside the cell, the mycorrhizal fungi. And what's nice about this now is that since it has something living inside the cell working with it, something else can't come along and go into that cell, like a root disease or other problems that are in the soil, to hurt that plant. So that's why it's important to build up those mycorrhizal fungi spores. That's why after a few months after you plant your tomato plants, you're going to get more nutrient-dense vegetables than ever before, because your plant roots are working with the biology of the soil. And yes, I'm still getting some geese flying in every day. They've actually eaten the cover crop down pretty well, so the numbers are reducing, but we'll have to take care of that in another month or so, replanting up a cover crop. I want to thank you so very much for watching today's video. If you have any questions whatsoever, please leave me in the comments below. I'll get right back to you. And again, if you can hit the like button and share with other people, it helps out my channel immensely. Thank you very much for all the time and all the effort that you put into watching my videos, and it's always a pleasure to share them with you. Thank you.